Just want to say before we start, I hope everybody I hope everybody's ready for 2019. Happy New Year to everybody. I know 2018 must have been rough for certain people. A lot of people have passed. A lot of stuff have changed over the year, and a lot of stuff hasn't maybe improved any crap. And I hope a lot of stuff gets way better, way bigger, and a lot nicer come 2019. And we're going to be going over. Well, it's going to be uploaded on Wednesday. It is Wednesday, so it'll be uploaded today because obviously I think it'll be much better. I mean, I did this before weeks ago. I'm going to be because I uploaded Thursday, I think. So I think doing both SmackDown and Raw in the same day would be pretty simple. So we're gonna go over another crappy Raw. Here's the problem. Me and my brother were just rewatching some reasons because we understood this entire year. A lot of people, uh, a lot of people went to watch my rant video, and I want to appreciate everybody that was viewing it. It was above. I think it was better than my my prediction video for the playoffs. That was like last week, so I'm happy about that. Thank you for everybody who was viewing it. But more on the important subject, we watched a clip of a podcast involving the representative of the fans, WWE, some guy, with Paul interviewing both SmackDown's JBL, that was a commentator, with Mauro Ranallo, and I don't know if it was Saxton, but and JBL and Monday Night Raw's representative, somehow a manager that's managing a part timer, and Paul Heyman. So we were going. I was watching this, and I was just trying so hard not to scream and let them continue, so they can give me some factual evidence. When I mean factual evidence, they mean insulting the fan base. You know, people that are supposed to be critiquing and giving good feedback to a company that's not doing well in a in a relative state, trying to consist that is struggling to remain mainstream and losing a lot of their fan base over the past merely 15 years, nearly 15 years, and over 10 if you're counting 2008, because I think that's the last time WWE was taken seriously by fans. And they got from JBL and Paul Heyman, men that barely even work at WWE anymore. Paul Heyman, that was GM on SmackDown years ago, and that was supposed to be the anti-culture with ECW, actually concerned about what the fans wanted. Now he's working for WWE and insulting the fan base and saying that the fan base WWE universe is fucking bitching and complaining about a company that's 3 hours with 5 hours for content involving NXT and a lot of network specials that nobody wants to watch. And we got JBL as well doing the same thing. I'm just bringing this up because these are the reasons why you're losing fans. Not enticing storylines. Feuds that are not feuds. They have no rhyme or reason to exist. Why the hell are Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler that are not trying to fight each other for any personal matter, not for a championship opportunity, not for anything insane, not because they're in a feud, in a faction. Why are all three of these men fighting? For what reason? Because Drew McIntyre is an asshole? You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself, and I don't want a video to be 20 minutes. Because obviously I'm trying my hardest not to kill myself. We opened the show with a steel cage match that could have been the main event. It should have been the main event because it was a steel cage match, and they obviously have no top guy. So why not bring maybe one of the bigger stipulations, the most dangerous match, maybe the most exciting stipulation in wrestling, to be the main event of the show? Dear God, WWE still doesn't want to try. Whatever. We had a steel cage match, and it was involving Dolph Ziggler facing off against Drew McIntyre. This was an alright match. I mean, it had a few big hits. It took two something kicks from Drew McIntyre to finish the match. Of course, we got a lot of rest holds. Dolph Ziggler was outmatched in almost every way, so I don't know why they continue feuding and they still want to involve Finn Balor into this. They're trying so hard to make Dolph Ziggler sound like a threat. It doesn't really work out as well as you think. Because he was with Baron Corbin and they started feuding because McIntyre said fuck you to an award that meant nothing. It didn't bring him to a Universal Championship opportunity. It didn't put him higher in power. It didn't make him control more of the show. So why are these guys feuding? Yes, they won the tag team championships, but they were never friends by the start. They know they were doing this for a step closer for the Universal title. So what's the point taking this like this is an immersed feud? I like Drew McIntyre, but oh my god, this is just not worth it. Not worth it at all. This doesn't make anybody bigger. Thanks, we know Braun Strowman's #1 contender for the Universal title off just beating Baron Corbin in a TLC match. I mean, in a match that nobody cared about. But this was a serviceable match. And then we had a moment with Seth Rollins confronting Triple H, and Triple H just being like, "You don't deserve an Intercontinental Championship opportunity because they don't want to hand it to you, and it's not 2015 where I actually had faith that you would be the top guy in the company." And he's like, "I carried Monday Night Raw for the last year. You held the Intercontinental title for a few months. You lost to Dean Ambrose in an easy match that took no outside interference. You've literally had no remarkable matches over your course of the Intercontinental Championship as the Intercontinental Champion, Seth. I think he won it like in WrestleMania and done nothing with it. Really. He was never shown to be a threat for the Universal title because obviously the two main guys, Braun Strowman, the guy that's actually carrying your company, thinks he actually does stuff that makes the show enjoyable to watch. He's the guy that's carrying the company, not Seth Rollins. He's a good wrestler. I'm going to say that. He's a great wrestler. He's incredibly talented. For what he can do in the ring, it's great. Your outselling of your leg consistently in every match with your top 20 movesets you do on 2K obviously makes the show more enjoyable, except it makes it more repetitive. Wow. What the fuck? And the more times I try to go over what makes this show good, people are just going to say to my face, Seth Rollins really carries the show. And what narrative? Seth Rollins has no attitude. He has no interest except that he can wrestle nice and he holds a grudge over Dean Ambrose. And just to make it more personal, it was when Roman Reigns had leukemia, so this makes this feud personal. When Dean Ambrose didn't even attack Roman Reigns while he had leukemia, because that would be fucked up. All he did was beat him for the Intercontinental title back in Survivor Series, and even that was an enjoyable match. So Shane McMahon intervened as well. And he had announced a fresh start Royal Rumble, so whoever wins the Royal Rumble, and Seth Rollins was in it, he got eliminated earlier, wins a #1 contender spot, and the Battle Royal started right now. If I hear that from another authority figure that a match will start right now, I'm breaking a TV. So the match won, Kurt Hawkins, Seth Rollins, Baron Corbin, and Apollo Crews with the final 5 or 4 remaining. It was an forgettable Royal Rumble, Battle Royal. It was a really forgettable Battle Royal. It ended off with fucking Kurt Hawkins nearly eliminating Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews winning it. Apollo should just get released. I don't want to say that. I don't want to ruin anybody's dream for working for maybe the biggest biggest professional wrestling promotion out there. It's literally the mainstays where everybody wants to go. WWE is Hollywood for professional wrestling. Except current Hollywood. WWE is current Hollywood. It's just shitfest and everybody's better off making their own content than ever going to Hollywood. So Apollo Crews won a #1 contender spot for the Intercontinental title in the Battle Royal. just to lose, and he's going to be forgotten about for 5 weeks until we give him the #1 contender spot again for a minor title. Just like we did when he had to feud with Rusev. Oh, that was Titus O'Neil. Oh, God. I forgot that they were in a faction together. Oh, Kurt Hawkins was Zack Ryder was also in the Battle Royal, so that was cool. I'm trying not to care. Elias Sampson. Just, This is Baron Corbin ranting over, everything after he's been taken off as GM. So, Elias came. They feud. I'm not gonna do something with Elias. Seriously, you don't make him feud for the Intercontinental title. You don't put more championships in the show, please. Lucha House. You have a bunch of cruiserweights that you're supposed to that you're masking as heavyweights, like Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, the Lucha House Party. Really, really, do these guys look world champion material to you at all? Finn Balor with his fake, thick Irish gimmick. You expect him to hold on to the Intercontinental title or the Universal title, and you think you're going to remember that reign? Nobody even remembers the first reign he had, and that was when he got an injury back at SummerSlam 2016. Then Kevin Owens held on to the belt back when he went in a match with Seth Rollins. He held on to that until 2017 of February, where he lost to fucking Goldberg. Yes, Goldberg held on to the Universal fucking title. This is a short lifespan because I understand the Universal title just been introduced, but fans already hated it since it's been introduced in SummerSlam. It looks like a Decepticon Slim Jim Mattel belt that they used fucking damaged rubber bands to make, involving the template of the original WWE title. That's literally the Universal title. Fans hate this belt, but now we gotta stick with it. It has a corny name. What's bigger than the WWE title? The Universal title, so we can make the Monday Night Raw sound better. It doesn't. The World Heavyweight Championship is already the big gold belt did nothing wrong. It's already a nice looking belt. It's a beautiful belt to have. I'm shocked that you idiots still don't use it. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I held no grudges. I hold a lot of grudges. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. This show's already ruined as it is, just to make another feud with Elias Sampson. Elias! So he can just feud with another bald-headed son of a bitch that looks like he's just going to get unemployed for the next year. Well, it's already 2019, so I call 5 months until he goes to Impact, just like Bobby Lashley's going to do. And I think Seth Rollins got a match with Bobby Lashley as well as scheduled for the show. Another forgettable match that it came into Seth Rollins losing. Dear God. Lio Rush did take a huge bump. It was an match. It's forgettable, really. As much as people want to say, what, this is the time for Bobby Lashley to grow some momentum over the past year he's been here in WWE. What really has he done here? Yes, he had that time when he was supposed to be a threat for the Universal title. What else? He didn't need a manager. He didn't need anybody of sort to be actually a particular strong wrestler. Really, over his time in Impact, he won the heavyweight title like twice. You telling me right now that he's not eligible to carry his own? He needs a cruiserweight from 205 Live to carry some traction? No one cares about 205 Live. I don't care who was holding the belt. Cedric Alexander or whatever 7-Eleven employee they picked up back at Long Island or some crap like that. And I ain't trying to insult Mustafa Ali. I have my own gripes with his corny ass attire doing more of the talking than himself. Lio Rush did take a crazy hit with the curb stomp. That was maybe my favorite part of the show. Next up was supposed to be a 3-on-2 handicap match involving Heath Slater and Rhino versus Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers. As surprise, surprise, the Singh brothers and Jinder Mahal won. What I'm trying to understand here is what the fuck was the point of this? You bring back Rhino back at Christmas, before Christmas Eve, just to lose and get pinned. What was this supposed to sum it up? That they're still jobbers even if you do bring back Rhino? Jinder Mahal came from a jobber to winning the WWE title the last year. I mean, I think, yeah, still 2018 or something. No. What's wrong with my head? Do you see WWE keep sucking? I have a good encyclopedia of wrestling. Now they keep fucking it up. And he comes from winning the WWE title by beating Randy Orton to just getting he's just getting jobbed out and just pinning Rhino. Like, that's an accomplishment. I don't know what kind of thing they're trying to do with Jinder. Whatever they do, that Yamastay shit gotta stop. That gotta stop. It doesn't build up any heat. It just builds up annoyance. I don't want to see any of these guys in a backstage segment. That's how suckish these guys are, that they're not interesting to look at. Jinder Mahal doesn't look like he belongs here. Nobody else looks like they belong here. The Riot Squad doesn't look like they belong here. They look like they're backdrops of knockout wrestlers on Impact. They don't shout WWE to me. They don't. Handicap match was a bore. One of the best matches in the show, next to the steel cage match. That shouldn't have kicked off the show. They could have done the Battle Royal and then the Intercontinental title as the main event, if that was the only title being defended against one of the top guys in the show, allegedly. So, it was Dean Ambrose versus Apollo Crews, thanks he won the Battle Royal, so he gets an instant opportunity for the Intercontinental title, because obviously they want to save up the Royal Rumble for Dean Ambrose to still feud with Seth Rollins. Oh my god, man, that show sucked. Oh my goodness, I'm not trying hard not to scream and not waste my time. It's the new year. I'm trying to keep myself to a minimum of not screaming the fuck out, all because a show is not trying hard enough to actually entertain me. This was an alright match. Apollo Crews pulled up all of the flippy dippy shit because he's a buff Spider-Man and he's able to do any crap he can to still get near fall after near fall instead of the dirty deeds coming out of nowhere when he took him down and hit the dirty deeds for the 1, 2, 3. This was an match. This was an match. I'm just trying not to pull legs because this was an alright match, but it should have been more Seth Rollins coming to interfere and nearly costing Dean Ambrose the victory. Still, a lack of conflict makes a show suck. I understand WWE is trying hard to think that the mainstream wants pure wrestling. They don't. It's a TV show for a reason. And each idiot that comes up in my face and be like, oh, you're a fan of wrestling? You know it's fake, right? I understand it's fake. It's on TV. It's not UFC. WWE's way different. I'm sick of them trying to think they can do this shoot gimmick and this shoot type wrestling. Instantly doing high flying and not making any wrestlers smart, interesting, more articulate, or at least getting some weapons out there. I don't see more weapons matches than anymore because all they do is back shots with chairs and not using any weapons than a kendo stick or a fucking steel chair or use a stupid broken ass table instead of pulling out a bat or something cooler. So this match was shit. I mean, it was all right. These were just all right matches. Just like last year, you can tell me the bunch of matches that you thought were like 4 to 5 stars. These were pretty good matches, and they had a good Phoenix Splash, 450 Splash. It had great chemistry. You still won't remember it the next year. You understand what I'm saying? So that match happened, and it was serviceable. I'm just trying to take this as nicely as I can, so I can just tell you why was a female tag match the main event instead of a steel cage match involving the two more popular wrestlers on Monday Night Raw. I don't mind Ronda Rousey. I don't mind her. She's literally one of the bigger women in the roster. Quote that. The bigger women in the roster, not the biggest superstar in the roster. So they had a tag match involving Tamina and Nia Jax with Ronda Rousey tagging with Natalya, the bitch that she beats. Because each time you turn Natalya either heel or babyface, it's just going to end up to the same result with her ending in failure. Just like Titus O'Neil. Just, why? Why do we still have to let her? It's just Nia Jax in general. This match was so sloppy. This match was so sloppy. So many botched moves. So many terrible drop kicks. Ronda Rousey tries so hard to build up momentum like it's actual. How are you from the UFC and you think, oh, can I use this like I use in the UFC? Actual combos, actual moves instead of these fake ass punches from the corner. And if you pull up a 2010 picture of Tamina, 2010, she looks like a reasonably sized woman. She looks like a woman that you want to meet, maybe ask her out. Look at her now. She's nearly the exact size as Nia Jax, and that's depressing already. She can't do a super kick anymore. She used to do a lot of super kicks. Now she can't do it unless somebody's on one knee. And then we got Nia Jax pulling up with her choppy ass leg drop because she's fat. I ain't doing anything, man. I like Umaga, and Umaga can do moves that I wouldn't do. And now he's dead, and that sucks. Because I used to actually be intimidated off fat people in the WWE. Like Viscera, Big Daddy V, R.I.P., and Umaga in the Big Show, Mark Henry. Those guys actually look like they can tear you in two, then eat your food, then your families. That's it. Not my family's food, like literally my entire family. This was overall 3 out of 10. This just should have been better. WWE thinks that they're trying so hard just all because they got rid of one authority figure for both shows. And Vince, that's more interested on SmackDown, even though there's very little talent to get rid of, to use. SmackDown upload will be coming soon, and this video was 20 minutes long. I lied to myself too much. But still, this was a show. It's like below average. 4, 3 out of 10. It really doesn't matter. When I give it below average, you should know this isn't a show that you would go back to watch. This isn't like to late 90s to early 2000s to mid 2000s Raw when you actually liked the antics, where they actually had characters that you wouldn't mind watching in backstage segments. And these guys go to pointless promos. Instead of promos being like, I'm trying to make a statement and kick someone's ass and win a championship, these guys being like whiners for no fucking reasons. I'm not here to see grown men built like bigger than my dad that are whining instead of actually making a statement. That makes no fucking sense. How am I supposed to take them seriously if you're not building them up so they can be big parts of the show? That's why Seth Rollins is getting so hard for a response, and that's why he's not getting built up for a Universal title match or the Intercontinental, even though we know he's going to have an Intercontinental title match. That's why Baron Corbin isn't taken seriously. That's why Samoa Joe isn't taken seriously. That's why a lot of these wrestlers aren't taken seriously. Daniel Bryan isn't taken seriously. And he was facing off against Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Was that match excited to watch? Is that a marquee match that you want to watch? The only thing I'm excited for is Braun Strowman, that didn't even come up on Raw this week. He just came up to threaten fucking Paul Heyman back at Christmas Eve so he can have some hype for a fucking Royal Rumble match that I know he's gonna lose. And just to sum it up, I'm not trying to be a dick. I want to see a show I've been watching for years improve, and WWE continuously shoot themselves in the back because they understand that we're making a lot of money off this. Because foreigners are gonna watch our shit for the download prices, so we don't give a fuck. We're making billions. I don't care if I make WWE a Cartoon Network, because they will. They fucking will, and they don't care. WWE's integrity, their heart, their entire expectations, in the way that they wanted to make their show, their brand, a show that they want fans to like and more fans to watch, Because now they're like, oh, you think it's fake, right? Come and see what we got here. That's Attitude Era. Current day, you think it's fake? You think it sucks? Well, change the channel. We don't want you. The WWE Network, by the way. Wait, why you leave it? That's it. And you can be like, fans know it's fake. There's alternative. No one's gonna watch New Japan. As much as you want that to happen, it's not gonna happen. No one's gonna watch Ring of Honor. No one cares about the Young Bucks. No one cares about Kenny Omega. No one cares about Jay Lethal. No one cares about Hangman Page. Whoever the fuck. I watch these guys because I think wrestling is a bit entertaining. But I'm looking at the majority, not the minority, the majority. The majority of wrestling fans do not want to watch pro wrestling for the pro wrestling. They want to watch it because of the characters. They want to watch it because of the show. Monday Night Raw used to be king of that. So was WCW. So was ECW. And it wasn't off the wrestling. It was the wrestlers. That's what made it successful. And the more times I see Raw, the more times I fucking want to change the channel. And I back weeks ago, I'd rather be watching a Giants game on Monday Night Football than to waste 3 hours of my time for commercials, pointless tag matches, and matches that mean nothing, just to make them continue month on and month in and month on. Why would you want that? Why would any wrestling fan want that? For a TV show to run on a feud for 3 months or 6 months, for it to go nowhere, to bring nobody up. Nia Jax, that was a women's champion. What's she been doing now? She been tapping out the little people since NXT. The only wins that she got in her belt are mainly of Alexa Bliss, that's literally my 16-year-old's cousin size, and jobbers most of the time, and Natalia. That could be a special ed substitute teacher. Fucking Sasha Banks and Bailey should be fired on the spot. The show sucked. I'm not aiming on the women as well. Leo Rush should go back to fucking Ring of Honor or some other indie promotion. Bobby Lashley should have been on Impact where he belonged. He literally had a bigger track record, and obviously people respected him. They should continue the authority. No, I'm joking. They shouldn't continue the authority. But why don't you guys build up more factions? This show sucked. I'm just gonna stick with a 3 out of 10 until it gets better. I don't know what's with Raw. Seriously, fix it.